All right, that brings us to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or a few minutes after. Let me get my camera situated here. All right. Welcome, everybody. Good to see you, Carl. Good to see you, Becca, Amy, all of our other friends that aren't currently on camera, and anyone else that joins us. We will kick it off with the quick little introduction video as I continue to let more people into the room and let the last minute people find their way to us. And then we will get off to our call tonight. So pull this up here. And stay tuned for a bit more information.
Hello, and welcome to the Beat Cancer Answer, brought to you by BeatCancer.Org, the Center for Advancement in Cancer Education. We believe that 90% of all cancers could be eliminated through environmental and lifestyle choices alone, and science agrees. Unfortunately, most people don't know it. So we provide the education that can help you prevent, cope with, and beat cancer through diet, lifestyle, and other immune-boosting approaches. In every video, we will feature an expert who can teach us how to become part of that 90% who could prevent getting diagnosed with cancer. But if you already have cancer, we have empowering information for you too. Over the past 40+ years, our nonprofit counseling service has helped thousands of cancer patients get back into the driver's seat when it comes to their personal journey of healing cancer and preventing future recurrence. If we helped you learn just one thing today about how to prevent, cope with, or beat cancer, then we have succeeded in our mission. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment. We appreciate all of your feedback and love your suggestions. Your positive ratings help us to get discovered so we can help save more lives. Thank you again for joining us, and best wishes for good health from all of us at BeatCancer.Org.
All right, and with that, we are officially getting started. Welcome, everybody, to the BeatCancer.Org weekly Ask a Holistic Cancer Coach call. The date is the 20th of February here in 2025, just days before several of us assemble at the Annie Appleseed Project Conference down in Florida. Super exciting. As a reminder, we will not be meeting next week because our staff will be at the conference. So this will be our last call for the next 2 weeks. Quick disclaimers: nothing that is said on these calls is intended to be taken as explicit medical advice. We are here to share information. We are here to share educational tools, resources, tips, experiences, so that we may all learn and grow together to healthier selves. Um, that said, we welcome questions from the group. We have a wonderful panel of coaches with us today, as well as some guests. And if you do have to hop off at any time, totally okay. We welcome you to stay for as long as you can, and you're allowed to, of course, leave at any time. The replay is available on assorted social media platforms where we are live streaming as well. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, Twitter, somewhere else. I don't know. We're all over the place. And we will be fielding questions not just from our participants on the call here, but on the social media live streams as well. So if you are on the call, you're welcome to add a topic of discussion or a comment or a question at any time in the chat. You can also chime in when we open the mic, open the floor to someone to chime in. And if you can't find quite a time to chime in, you can raise your hand with the Zoom feature. If you put your mouse towards the bottom of your Zoom window, click the raise hand button. You'll get a little hand like you see in the corner of my screen there. That'll let us know that you have something that you'd like to say, and we will call on you as soon as we can. Um, for our friends on social media, of course, you can put your comments in the chat right there, wherever you're watching, and we will be monitoring those as well. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Carl for some housekeeping, whatever he wants to take care of, while I monitor the live stream and make sure that we are good to go.
Yep, I don't have a whole lot to add, but I do want to say hello, Catherine White. It's been a while since I've seen you on the calls. So I am going to put you on the spot real quick, if that's okay.
Yeah, hi Carl.
Hey, congratulations on your book.
Thank you. And
It's so exciting.
I have to tell everyone a big thank you to you for writing the forward to it. It's a beautiful piece. Thank you.
It was my pleasure. I think I cried a little bit while I was writing it.
I think I cried a little bit when I read it.
So I wanted to ask you real quick. I don't think I've asked you this publicly. What prompted you to become a cancer coach or want to become a holistic cancer coach, and why beat cancer? Why us?
Yeah, that is such a great question. It's so interesting. I was talking to someone about that today, actually, talking about the whole whoever knew that there was a thing called a cancer coach. And so for me, I'm actually in my 10th anniversary of my diagnosis of stage 4 colon cancer. And there was not any support that I could find at the time. And so as I moved along in my healing process, um, I just knew like there was something that I needed to be doing. That's one of those things, right? This calling of doing more. And I was doing sort of nutrition coaching and I was, teaching yoga. And I actually hired my own coach and I thought, I really like this coaching thing. I like this. And it was somebody else. I think I was doing some Google searches about cancer support, and it was somebody else's blog page that referenced Beat Cancer. And I was like, huh, well, that sounds interesting. So I dove a little deeper and found that the program was accessible for me where I was, and it was exactly what I was looking for. It had nutrition training in it, it had coaching skills in it, it had content that I knew would build up my repertoire of what I wanted to be doing. So I signed up for the course and successfully graduated in, I want to say January of 2021, and have been just like moving full forward and loving every minute of it, and truly grateful to the program for giving me the confidence to be a coach and the foundation to be able to deliver what I think is the message I'm supposed to be giving as a cancer survivor and a cancer thriver.
So awesome, and congratulations on 10 years anniversary.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So wow, you graduated in 21. That was like right in the middle of COVID. And yeah,
Yeah,
kind of
locked in our
a hard
houses.
time to launch, isn't it?
It was excuse me, it was really interesting because I was working on building an online course, an online platform, and so it was just a really nice transition into it because I was able to move the cancer coaching piece into the whole wellness course that I had built. And I think everybody was looking for something online because people were reaching out and as I had become a coach, I was working with people who were actually going through surgeries where they had to go to the hospital by themselves. And so we were coaching around, like, how do you go to the hospital for a surgery by yourself? How do you do treatment by yourself? So, as much as it was a challenging time, it was, I feel like it drove people to like looking for support and going online looking for people. And
Mm,
it
yeah.
was a bit serendipitous in a way.
Yeah, silver linings. Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I got to tell you that when in your book, um, you know, I because I went through cancer, not myself, but personally, but my family, my mother went through cancer. My grandfather died on my birthday on my 70th year I graduated.
Mm.
My grandmother's second husband died of cancer as well. But I wasn't living at home when my mother died of cancer. So it wasn't like the way that you had a way of just describing that whole process that the family went through when you'd be waiting on test results or getting ready to go to get a test and just the pensiveness of the family and how the family was going through
Mhm.
each of their own things individually and it was not only just you but you know you had to manage all of that as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
our boys were teenagers when I was diagnosed, so parenting teenagers is hard enough on a good day. And then throw into the mix the whole cancer piece. And it's interesting. We just recently, I write about it in the book that I asked my boys to write me letters telling me about their experience. Like, what did it look like from their 15 and 16-year-old experience? And they wrote it as their 25 and 26-year-old selves. So, hindsight, I think they had a lot of time to reflect and think about things. And I didn't include their letters in the book because they were so personal, because they were so deeply reflective to the point where our oldest son said, I don't think you ever told us it was stage 4. And we're like, well, no, yeah, we did. And he said, no, I don't think you ever did. He said, if I'd known it was that serious, I don't think I would have been as big of a jerk. It's like, I think you were just figuring it out. But even, he recognizes now as an adult the severity of cancer. And then there are like different levels of severity of cancer. And so I think maybe we might have parented differently even if we'd known that, but yeah, it was navigating like getting them to go to school and getting them to stay with routines around the house and trying to encourage them to keep having their own life while my husband and I were sort of navigating this parallel story of mom going to tests and results of tests and you reference that. So I mean, to build on that, we got to the point with the boys where we stopped telling them that I was even going to have tests. Like once they'd gone away to university, we just stopped telling them because it hasn't been a perfect 10 years. I've had 6 surgeries in the last 10 years and all of the CT scans and MRIs that go with it. And we found that it really, in terms of the whole family, the tension and the stress and the anxiety around it. So we stopped telling them until we knew we had something to tell them. In fact, I have a CT scan coming up on Monday, just my annual 6 month, and we're just not even telling them because there's nothing to tell. And with that sort of that philosophy we adopted, like if there's something that we have to share, then we'll share it and we'll figure out the right place and the right time. Because doing it over the phone when they're away at university it's not the
Yeah.
best way to do it either.
Yeah, they need the focus too. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent stuff. I just we got a question in the chat, like what is the name of your book? And then also too, if you could say it and then put it in the chat, and then we'll move on to other people. But thank you so much
Yeah.
for all your time.
Thank you very much for that. My book is called Living to Thrive, A Holistic Guide to Living with Cancer. And I will put that in the chat. And if anybody's looking for it, it's available on Amazon.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carl. Great to talk.
Yeah.
Great to see you.
Awesome, awesome. Welcome everyone that joined us while that chat was going on. Good to have everyone here. So, Carl, is there anything else top of mind, or should we hear from some of our new friends that we have on?
Yeah, I think we should go to our new friends.
All right. Well, newest of friend, top of mind is Miss Amy, who I had the pleasure of speaking with shortly ago. Amy, I'd love if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself to the group. Let us know what brings you out here, and you know, let us know what's top of mind for yourself.
Hi everybody. Thank you, Catherine. That was a lovely talk that you just gave. I really appreciated hearing that. I have a real passion in my heart for helping others understand the power of food and nutrition and positive thinking. I have had a lifetime of challenges, and I have experienced, ironically, bulimia for 27 years. And I got over that in 2007. But when I finally got over it, it seemed like my health just spiraled down, like my gut forgot how to digest, etc. And then along the line, I neglected that I have this interesting colon problem, a bowel problem, possibly. And I may or may not have cancer in my colon. I had to get screened for malignant neoplasm in May for my doctor's orders, and I had to wait till October to get an appointment. It was so packed, and they still can't figure it out. And yesterday I went in and tried to have a enema barium done, and my colon is still too blocked. So, just combining all that, I've studied and learned so much. I've just had such a passion to help other people not do the things that I did wrong and to empower themselves to make healthy choices and listen to their hearts and not listen to all the noise out there. So I talked to Zach today and I really enjoyed it. And I really love this idea because it's kind of a neat little, not a lot of people have this certificate. And I think it's really vital today because the statistics are out that 1 in 2 people have cancer now. A diagnosis, and I don't want people to be afraid of it. I'm really fearless of whatever happens, but I just want to know that I'm doing my best and I'm trying, and that I could do this type of program, help others, help myself, and have a community. I hope that made sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank
Absolutely.
you so much. It
Absolutely.
sounds like you have a heart for it, and you're right on the right track with body, mind, and spirit. That track. I wish if you could angle your camera just a little bit different so we could see your face, because I can't see anything from your nose down. There you are.
And I don't look my best today, believe me. I had to go to the doctor's yesterday and I have
Oh
oil
no,
in
I'm
my
loving the
hair.
hat, by the way. I think that's awesome.
You're seeing me like in my raw, and I don't care. I'm like, okay, it's nice to look more appropriate, but bear with me.
Yeah,
Um,
well, I
That's
don't
all
I
right.
don't look like a CEO of a company in a hoodie, and Zach is the COO in a hoodie. We don't care. We don't care about any of that stuff. We're
and
just
you know,
We're all real
here.
people here.
and I want to say while we're on the call, Catherine, when I saw you, you about blew me away because I have a picture of someone very much like you because I want my hair to look like that. And I was going to show it to my hairstyle. So when you came on, I was like, oh my God, is that lady? And I was just stunned at how similar that is. I actually have her picture on my cell phone. And I think she's a positive type of a health coach as well. Isn't that funny? And I love the name Catherine. I loved your whole share. So thank you.
Well, we're excited to have you as part of the family here, and I'm sure that'll happen soon enough.
Yes.
Absolutely. And while you have the floor, if you have any questions for our coaches, I know we spoke briefly, but if you'd like to know from people that are out there in the world actually doing it, now would be a wonderful time to kind of hear from some other coaches, if you have any.
I could take over the whole hour, which I won't do, but I have the passion, I don't have the looks. That's maybe my banner in life because of what I did wrong. I looked great when I was bulimic, by the way. Listening to everybody else's advice, I think, is what got me all involved in this colon problem and stuff. How do you overcome? None of you guys all look great. How do you overcome that image? Social media loves image. It wins in the health field. I need, Zach really helped me look at it. How do I make this figure outable for me?
So I think the broader question that we'll pose to the coaches is when you're looking at a new endeavor like cancer coaching and staring at all the reasons why it can't be you or shouldn't be you, how do you push past and make things happen and get to be where you are today? And yeah,
And I could
thoughts?
also say that nobody's had a path of smooth sailing. You know, it's a roller coaster for sure. So you can expect bumps in the road and highs and lows, but just remember what you're doing is life changing. And with that, I'll open up the question back to the coaches.
Cool. We have a
Thank you.
hand from
Thank
Jane.
you.
Yep, we got Jane. Uh,
I
there you go.
really admire you for sharing with us the biggest problem you're having right now, because that's the beginning when you can admit this is the thing I'm having a problem with. You know, just a few weeks ago, I was admitting the problem I was having, and the biggest thing that helped me was it's okay to have a problem. And I was so relieved. So one thing that I could tell you as a woman that for me, so I'll just talk from my standpoint. It's very important to me to dress. I dress every day, all the time, in outfits that match, and I wear jewelry and makeup, and I always use skincare that is organic, but it makes me feel good. And then, you know, I think right, wrong, or indifferent. Doesn't matter. Some things are in the world the way it is. Like, for instance, you mentioned certification, or Catherine mentions that certification. The way of the world is certification. You know, even though we learn so much and continue to learn so much, it's that piece of paper. And it's the same thing with our look, is to decide what kind of look do I want to present? And then mold it according to that. And it's so much fun because you could be really creative. And go shopping. I'm famous for shopping. I'm not cost effective, but I will tell you, I buy lots of stuff on sale that's really great. So you can't let, you know, it doesn't have to stay in your way. Look at things and dream that positive thinking of, I look great today. And always say it in the present. And then somehow, some way, you'll be attracted to find the perfect things for you. You mentioned that you wanted your hair like Catherine. Okay, go to the hairdressers and say, this is the picture that I want. Right? Look at
Yes.
clothes that appeal to you. This is what I want. It doesn't have to be my clothes or Catherine's clothes or anybody else's clothes. It's you. But be proud of that. And it's fun. And shopping's in the female DNA. I bet some people will agree with me.
Oh, my dad always told me, you always manage to find the highest priced items, Amy. I said, yeah. What can I say?
Yeah,
It's
but the
funny.
sales are great. A lot of
Yeah.
times I'll go, my favorite store is White House Black Market or Boston Proper. And because they have great quality and great styles, and I'll walk in and I'll see a top that's $150 and I say, okay, that's nice. I'll wait till it goes on sale and I'll buy the same top for $39.99.
Yeah.
Same quality, same everything. You gotta kind of work the system, but you
Yeah.
find the look that's right for you. Maybe your look is different, but different is wonderful. It doesn't matter. So I would suggest to embrace that because it could really be fun.
Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
you're in Boston.
No, I'm in New Jersey.
Okay.
Catherine White is got her hand up. Next, thanks, Jane.
Thanks, Jane. Just to add on to that, I think, yeah, it's how you present physically is you need to be comfortable in what you're doing, what you're wearing and how you are feeling. But Amy, like when we're talking about connecting with a client, if that's what your goal is to work with people directly, there's lots of options. And I worked with a coach once that we never had our cameras on. And that's okay. If you feel more comfortable with that, that was just her coaching style. So for whatever reason, we actually never saw each other, but we still had really heartfelt conversations and really genuine conversations. And I think the biggest thing that I've learned in this coaching is that it's about being your authentic self, because you're going to connect with the people that you connect with, and your personality and what you bring to the table, what you have to offer, is going to resonate with the right people, and you will bring the right people into your space based on who you are, based on your genuine story. You know, you told us a big truth tonight of yourself. That's a big share. And I think people value honesty and integrity, and not being, you know, this persona that you aren't, because that will ring through in a call, in a conversation also, if you're trying to be someone that you're not. So just be your authentic self. People will love you for who you are, and they will appreciate the coaching that you have to bring to them based on your story and how you share.
Thank you. You know, I have this thought, you guys will laugh at me, but I thought, would it be fun? I could get a mirror and make a mirror face, and my client will have a mirror face, and we're reflecting each other, because one thing we cannot see is we cannot see the back of our head. You cannot. We're a mirror image. So I thought, would it be fun to have like a mirror, and we're just reflecting each other? And you know, it's a crazy concept, but I thought it's really the truth is when we are talking to someone, it's just a mirror image. And yeah, I'm trying to have fun with it, because I used to be a pretty good looking gal, you know. Yeah, I've
I'd
cracked
say get rid
myself.
of that used to be. There's no reason for that used to be in there.
You're beautiful, Amy. You're beautiful. You
Thank
are.
you.
That's what I was
Thank
just going to raise my hand about. Stop. You're beautiful the way you are today.
Absolutely. I think I saw a hand up from Becca before, and I know she is a big fan of mirrors and mirror work. So
Yeah, we just
really-
Oh,
Catherine said
funny.
it. I wanted just to echo what Catherine, she said it before I got to say it, but God made you specifically as you are, because the world needs you exactly as you are. And that's what I took me a long time to get there too, but it's really I see also cancer as a journey to self-love. It's really calling for that. And you had it perfectly right. The world is our mirror, and every relationship is reflecting something back to us, whatever it is that we're learning. And so it's just great that you're here, and you're saying all the right things.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, everybody. That was so fun. Very helpful, very beneficial. I loved everybody's input.
I'd like to add one last thing before we move on. At the center, um, for the last, I don't know, 48 years, we've done everything by phone. We started out way before there was computers, and nobody knew what anybody looked like at that time, and still don't. And we still do all our counseling by phone. There isn't a single person that talks to Dr. Randy on Zoom because she refuses to use her computer. In fact, she checks her email. Well, the first step is she goes under her bed where her computer resides, and it's completely off and unplugged from the internet. And there's absolutely no Wi-Fi because she's afraid of that too, and or or is cognizant of the harms of Wi-Fi. And then she plugs it in via wire and gets on, checks her emails, and then turns it all back off and puts it back under her bed. So everything she does with any of our clients is all via phone.
I remember those days, you know, right 2012 or 13, they started doing these online videos, and it was like so foreign, even to the best people, you know, who are like out there in the world. They're sitting there like trying to learn, how am I going to navigate that? You know, how weird. And we used to do the phone online, you know, we just go to the radio shows and listen. So yeah, I got to update. But anyhow, you guys are totally fun. I'm really enjoying this, and thank you.
Awesome. Awesome.
Seems like Beverly's got her hand up.
Yeah, over to you, Beverly.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that when I started my business, everything was on the phone. So any of the clients that weren't like in the immediate area, they were all on the phone. I used WhatsApp, long distance. I never seen, like, most of my clients, I didn't see and they didn't see me. So, and they were fine with that. And we worked well together. There was not a problem. And when we started, having more like we could do FaceTime or we could do Skype and Zoom calls, and I would ask some of those clients, like, do you want to do them now? And they go, no, we're fine. Like, they didn't mind because they got the same effect. Because, as long as they can hear you, and Amy, you've got a sweet voice. Okay. So I think I just not didn't look at you, and I just listened to your voice, and it's like a healing voice. Okay. And so that's all they want to hear. They want to hear somebody who's sincere, okay, and passionate in their work, and they don't need to see you. And if they do, that's okay, because you know what? You're a human being. You've had a story just like we all have. So, anyways, that's all I had to say. Don't worry about it.
Beautiful.
You'll figure it out.
Thank you. Hey, and I'd love to know where everybody's from. Are you from back east? Jersey?
I'm from Canada,
Okay.
Ontario.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
where we've got like 7 feet of snow in some places.
Beverly, I'm in Ontario, Canada also.
Oh yeah, whereabouts are you, Catherine?
Just south of London, where we have like 6 inches of snow, or almost a foot.
Okay. I'm up by Algonquin Park.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I know we have New Jersey, we have Pennsylvania, Amy's out in San Diego, we have
From
Maya in
Pennsylvania.
Texas. What's that?
I'm from Pennsylvania, but yeah, I'm in San Diego now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's where this whole thing got started. The organization got started in Pennsylvania.
Montgomery County, right there near Philadelphia.
Yep. We got people all over the place here. Awesome.
So shall we try another guest?
Yeah, absolutely. We have another new friend.
Thank you, Amy.
What's that?
I said thank you, Amy. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, everybody. Thank you. I really love it. Thank you.
Awesome. And so we will open the floor to Deborah Johnson. The floor is yours. You're welcome to unmute yourself. You're welcome to turn on your camera if you're comfortable doing so, and let us know what is top of mind, top of heart for you. What brings you out tonight, and what questions might our panel of holistic cancer coaches be able to answer? And if you're not comfortable sharing, that's totally okay too. We'll give you a few moments to unmute if you're able to and would like to, and then we'll move on.
If not, if you don't want to talk, you can always put your questions into the chat. It looks like you're on a device that you can put it in the chat.
Yep. All right.
Do we have some popular asked questions to run off next?
Yeah, we have a couple questions. Before we go over to the questions, I'll go to our other friend, Miss Evelyn. Oh, wait, we have unmuted.
Hooray!
Hi, I'm
Oh, there
sorry.
you are.
Hi, this is Deborah Johnson.
Good to
Hey,
see
Deborah.
you.
I didn't realize you would be calling on me. That's why I was unmuted and didn't have my camera.
That
But
is all right.
thank you for introducing me. I occasionally log into you. I have sessions with Randy, and I mostly log in just to hear what the topics are and what people are talking about. I don't think I have any questions. Well, I do have one question. I was a little upset that I missed last week because you guys talked about grounding. Was that one of the subjects that came up or topics?
It comes up. It definitely comes up a handful of times. I don't remember if we specifically talked about it last week, but it comes up a lot.
Okay. I thought I saw it on the menu, on the agenda for last week, and I said, darn it, I missed talking about grounding, because what I did was I bought a mat from online. It's a online store where you can get different grounding things. I have the shoes that you can buy, which I think they discontinue doing. But I do have the mat that I sleep with, and I put it at my feet. So does anybody know anything about that? I mean, I know the real way to do it is to walk in sand or on, your bare feet outside or the grass that's not fertilized or anything. But how efficient are the mats?
Absolutely. So it's a great topic. We will touch on it. And just so you know, there's no need to worry if ever you miss a session because they're all recorded and the replays are available in a handful of places. You can find the replays on our Facebook, on our YouTube, on our Rumble channel, on our Twitter. They're all over the place. So don't worry if ever you miss a call. But of course, we love to have you on the calls themselves.
And one more
Thank
thing, just because it was the proposed agenda doesn't always mean we get to that topic. We try to, but
Mhm.
sometimes the conversations take on a life of their own, and we don't get to all the topics. But the best thing to do is we have notes, Zach, on the replays anywhere.
Not on these ones.
Okay, yep. But yeah, it doesn't always happen. It's just it's a basic framework.
But yeah, I always have my spiel I could give on grounding, but I will open it up to the coaches if any of our coaches would like to share their thoughts on grounding and any of the devices Deborah has pitched.
Yep, go ahead, Becca.
I'll jump in here because it's one of my favorite things. Grounding for me is really about activating the vagus nerve. You can do some research on that, but that's the hottest topic right now. They say of our 1% of consciousness, we should be focusing on the vagus nerve. And so grounding is one of those ways. And it doesn't necessarily, I know there people get really specific, but even the easiest way is to put your hands in dirt. Go out and put your hands in dirt.
Oh,
So that's
interesting.
another grounding mechanism.
Mhm.
And I've been hearing great things about the grounding mats. I think there's grounding sheets that you can sleep on.
Mhm.
It's really getting yourself back to nature because we are part of nature. We are not separate from nature. And it's a missing component in our wellness is the separation. I mean, overall, just a big component is the belief that we're separate and alone. And it's, that we're all connected and we're all in vibrational love.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's just my little bit about that one.
I
Absolutely.
love that part about getting your hands dirty. I love all summer long. I'm gardening and playing in the compost pile and touching stuff outside.
Oh, one more
If I'm
thing,
not doing that, if
there is
I'm
a documentary out there called Grounding or Ground. I think it's on Amazon or Prime somewhere, but so you can do a little bit of read up on those and see what other alternatives there are.
Okay, thank
Might
you.
be
I
on
know.
it might be on YouTube. I don't know.
Okay. When I ordered the mat, and I want to say the company's name was Earthing or something. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've had it. But they
Yeah.
actually sent a book also on grounding.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I see Amy has a hand up.
Hi, I'm not a coach yet per se. I am a certified health coach, but I actually met him, Clint, out here in San Diego. He gave a talk in his movie when it first came out years ago, and he gave us all grounding equipment to take home. So I think there's merit to it, but along with Becca, you can even have a plant next to your computer or something, and you could use that plant as energy. And you also can chew on basil leaves, like 2 or 3 basil leaves helps remove stagnation. That's Ayurvedic wisdom. And lastly, if you're traveling, you can use a stainless steel spoon and you could rub the bottoms of your feet, and that gets rid of static energy. And I know that sounds wacky, but it works. It sounds really wacky, but it calms you down. And it's a way when you're air traveling to get rid of static energy from EMF and things like that. So those are things I've learned. I've actually done a lot with earthing, and I'm a natural soul. So yeah, get out in the dirt and get dirty.
No, thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I see a hand up from Catherine White.
Just talking about all my favorite things tonight. I love that Becca brought up the vagus nerve. So Deborah, like if you can't get outside and get your hands in the dirt or get your feet into the sand, sometimes having a shower is a nice idea, getting in water, even, your meditation while you're doing the dishes is like some grounding. But the vagus nerve, it comes from like the top of your throat. So in a yoga class, people will om, and really it's just creating that vibration that activates the vagus nerve. So if you are singing in your kitchen while you're, cooking supper, or if you just hum, it creates that vibration. That's why one of the yoga breaths is the ocean breath, where you create this vibration. And then the vagus nerve is stimulated and brings in that, rest and digest, that calm in the body. So just another strategy, or just humming to yourself, and it just makes you feel good too.
Thank you. Humming sounds awesome.
Awesome, awesome. Any additional thoughts on grounding from our panel here? We got a hand from Jane.
It's funny, I think it's kind of a natural thing that our bodies or our minds go to. I had an extremely stressful week, and the stress left today. And instinctively, not that I really needed to do this, but I have 2 big pots with flowers, and they have to be, take the dead stems off, and I just wanted to sit on the floor and get rid of the dead stuff and get my hands dirty and put, something under, a towel under it. And I think it's just part of our nature to want to be part of that. And I think that's why, this is my theory. And, Catherine, you could help me with this one, that part of our depression or lack of light in the wintertime is because we can't go play. I mean, usually it's funny, when I'm in trouble, I go buy flowers and plant them. And last year, when I found out that Michael was totally blind, I came home, and a truck followed me with about 300 plants. And my neighbor called and said, "Okay, what's wrong? Something happened. You're planting flowers." we kind of naturally go to that because it's part of who we are. But I think maybe in the wintertime, it could account for why we get a little bit depressed. What do you think, Catherine?
I think that's partly a vitamin D conversation, which I think Maya is I think you speak a lot about vitamin D, if I remember correctly. But I know for me, for the winter, it's getting outside without my glasses on and getting the sun into my eyes, getting that circadian rhythms. I know lots of people up here that have lights, that they have the lamps, the sun lamps to help activate. But I think, plants, like you said, like Becca said about stimulating the vagus nerve, there's all of these things that we can go to, and just finding things that bring you joy, that are going to help you to get out of those places. That it's about finding the thing that is right for you.
Right.
And then eating healthy and getting proper sleep and interacting with other people. And so I don't know if I want to, Maya, do you want me to tag you on this, on the vitamin D?
You can go ahead. I can explain, like a Jane, when you talk about like planting when you don't feel like good. It's basically when we ground ourselves, because we were talking about grounding, right? So it's basically exchange of energy in your body. You kind of give to the soul when you step like a barefoot. When we talk about grounding, we basically give like those electrons, like negatively charged electrons or excess of electrons, to the soil. And it kind of recharges our body and gives it back to us with a positive electrons. So that's the part, like a purpose of grounding. When we talk about grounding, that we get exchange kind of electrical like charge. Like we give negative, but we accept like positive charge in our body. So that's probably when you would go and plant the flowers or work in the soil, you feel good. You kind of have that exchange of negativity. you know, coming to your body. Yeah. So on vitamin D, yeah, vitamin D also plays a big role because it's everything we are as a humans, we're connected to this universe, to nature. You know, we're part of nature, and whatever we do is like everything comes from nature. A lot of stuff comes from nature. Our sensory, like all the sensors, neurosensors, everything, we're connected to universe. Yeah, and that's how our body acts.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you all the coaches for the shares. Anyone else on the power of grounding? Awesome. Awesome. Just a quick note from myself. I think grounding is absolutely a fundamental health practice. I don't consider it something that can give someone, some people look at it as, oh, am I going to get an edge on my health by doing it? Like you're going to get some, extra performance benefits out of your body. I don't think it's like that. I think it's a basic fundamental building block of health. It's a foundational mechanism that we are built to have that we can then build the rest of our health habits on. So yeah, obviously the getting bare skin to bare earth, whether that's soil, grass, sand is fantastic because of all the piezoelectric elements of the crystals in sand. But even in water, a body of water, that's grounding. That's always going to be preferable. But if that's not possible at a given time, the devices like were mentioned, even in the shoes, the mats, the bed sheets, those are all, you know, doable as well. Keeping in mind that you probably want to touch bare earth when you can. And just something that is cool to know that not everyone knows about grounding. You can test those devices, the mats, any of the above, with a electrical multimeter, which is a very cheap, inexpensive tool that you can buy any tool store, Amazon, wherever, and you can put the one of the probes to your body and then touch the grounding device, and you could see the voltage in your body drop as you touch the device. And this way you could verify if it's actually doing something. Because a lot of people, especially doubters, they say, oh, it must not, it's not doing anything. Is it all placebo? Is it actually having an electrical effect? Well, you could verify it right for yourself. A quick note on the devices, such as the mats or the sheets, they all generally come with a little prong that you plug into the ground portion of an outlet. If you live in a house, that might be, an acceptable way to go. If you're in a, say, busy like office building or like a big apartment building, that apartment building's electrical grid might be very, very busy and messy, and this could happen even in a home. And sometimes the grounding pathway that you're plugging into might actually be kind of charged up with energy that would be feeding back. So it's not a perfect solution for all scenarios. What you can do instead of using the probe that goes into the outlet, you can grab a wire, again, if you're in a scenario to do so, and actually just run it right out the window into a piece of copper or some sort of metal that's conductive into the ground outside your window. Um, Not as clean as a look in your house. You're going to have a wire sticking out your window and a rod, whatever, but now you're getting a clean, direct pathway to the actual ground instead of going through your home. So there's always little nuances and tips and tricks to these mechanisms. But yeah, great question.
Just real quick, I hate to be a bad guy, but I had to mute people that were unmuted because we could hear distracting noises in the background. So if I mute you, it's not because I don't like you. It's just that sometimes there's background noise. And
Cool.
so you can feel free to unmute yourself when you're ready to talk.
Cool. I will bring us over to some of our Facebook friends who have some interesting comments tonight. One of our friends says, very strong statement, cancer is parasites. Very fascinating topic. And I think it's part of an equation. I think there's different scenarios, but it's certainly fascinating that one of the hot topics these days about cancer is anti-parasitic medications. So if anyone has any thoughts on that, the correlation between parasites and cancer, or parasites in general.
Well, I'll take that.
Right.
Yeah. Cancer is not a parasite. It does not directly link, like parasite does not directly link to cancer, but they definitely could create an environment for cancer to grow. So per se saying that cancer is a parasite, it's a wrong statement unless you have a solid and, strong science behind that stating that. Yes, does cancer do have their own microorganisms that they love, but not directly coming from parasites. So it does create the environment for parasite to grow, same as glucose would create the environment for cancer to grow, but not directly linked to the cancer. So just because antiparasitics are doing some kind of job, that doesn't mean the cancer is like pure parasite. Someone's made a statement that cancer is a lack of iodine. So if everyone goes on iodine, like that doesn't mean like all the cancers are going to go away. No, it's not. So yeah, it's many factors affect the cancer. The biggest problem is a chronic inflammation, and where that chronic inflammation comes in the cell, in the mitochondria, might be parasite, might be candida, might be sugar overload in the cell. It might be so many different factors to create the environment for cancer to grow and mitochondrial dysfunction. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you for that weigh in, Maya. And yes, that is fantastic overall theme to everything cancer, in that there is no one size fits all. There's no one causation, just like there's no one way out of a state of cancer. And so it's very important when we're having these discussions to understand that just because someone might have some sort of contributory factor that they're considering, it doesn't mean that it's the case for absolutely everybody. So I see.
I thought the cancer was a lack of radiation therapy and a lack of chemotherapy.
Well, we could be pretty confident it's not
It's
that.
not that? Oh.
I see a hand up from Amy on the topic. Oh, you're muted, dear.
Interesting topic, because in the past year I've researched that as well, and I really come from the space where you have to look at your own specific problem of why that got created. It could be parasites. I know it got Joe Tippins got that really out there with the fenbendazole and ivermectin years ago when he had cancer, and supposedly he healed himself with fenbendazole. Along with that, you got to be careful of all the scammers out there selling the product, and you need to give your liver, make sure it's detoxing from that. So if you take it, you have to do it responsibly. And there's a really good website. I wish I could remember what it is, but it has all the good facts and research done on the product. It seems to have merit, but once again, you really have to know, how's this going to benefit me? Am I using quality? And you have to make sure your liver is going to detox it out of you as well. But it is fascinating, but it's part of I think it's part of the problem sometimes. I don't know if that helped, but it's an interesting thought.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Those are very hot topics that get brought up every single week and every day of the week on our social media platforms. Actually got brought up right on this call in a following comment, someone asking about those things. So, yep, I agree with Amy, and I think everyone does here, that it's not an end-all be-all, maybe a powerful tool in certain circumstances, but there's no overarching yes approval for any protocol. We had a comment saying, my brother has brain cancer. What could he do?
I think we had two hands up on that last.
Oh, did we?
We had Jody and Jane.
Okay, I didn't see. Go ahead.
Yeah, you were looking at your other monitor.
Yeah, go ahead, Jody.
Hi. I'm not sure if the person that put that comment on about parasites with cancer, but I just saw a little video with Dr. Artis on Instagram, and he did say that cancer was with parasites. I think it's probably the best thing to do is if it can be examined with a functional medicine doctor to find out if that is your possible problem. I do think it's a meritable, it has merit, you know, that it could be a possible thing. So just to make sure, I wouldn't go and try and detoxify yourself of it without making sure if you have it or not, because that could be dangerous as well.
Yeah, they got to also know what they're looking for. I mean, when I was going through Lyme's, um, typical doctors, they only look for the Lyme's disease in acute form or in long form, but they never look at all the co-infections that come in from tick-borne illness. And I had at least 4 other uh, critters in me that were from the tick-borne illness that if I didn't go to a Lyme's literate doctor, I would not have gotten the right test. So I think that's another thing is to make sure that we're working with qualified people that know what they're looking for exactly. And Maya talks about this a lot. It's a tool. It's not a cure all. And it could be something that helps you in your case, but it could also be something that doesn't benefit you at best and harms you at worst.
Yeah.
If the cancer is about the parasite, so if everyone goes anti-parasitic, that doesn't mean that everyone survives. That already tells us like it's not 100% parasite for everyone. As there might be a link to that. There are also mold, there's also candida, there are also viruses, there are also many different things. So why works for some people and doesn't work for other people? Because I have clients who were taking like ivermectin and fenbendazole, for example, but it didn't do anything for them. So that tells us like, so even though by eliminating parasite, taking those drugs, it did not work for everyone. I would say it's more of an anti-inflammatory drugs, anti-parasitic, anti-inflammatory. It helps people, but not 100% per se saying like it's a parasite, the cancer is a parasite, because there's so many triggers for cancer, so many triggers,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And was there another hand on the topic? Jane.
In those lines, Louise Hay talks about all the emotional components. There are so many components, as everybody has said, of cancer that we have to look at the individual with the entire person and look at all those causes and then how we put it together. Now, one of the biggest things that I think is something to think about, when I had, and I think my case really shows that, because I had 2 husbands that died of the same kind of leukemia. One was, he died in 1982, and I started working with Susan Silverstein in 1980 when he was diagnosed. At that time, Susan had to refer me to Dr. Leo Roy, who was in Canada, because Dr. Roy was a medical doctor in the United States, but lost his license because he refused to prescribe chemo. Now, years later, when Michael was diagnosed in 2013, the popularity of doctors that are MDs that are board certified in integrative medicine is very popular right now. There's an extreme danger. It's one of the biggest dangers of getting involved and saying, I'm going to pick this because the internet says so, without running it through our doctors and the team of doctors. And because integrative medicine is now it's like a specialty like cardiology, I have found, as long as, pick the doctors who will work with the integrative medicine, and I was able to do that, that the doctors will talk to each other and come to an agreement. And ivermectin was prescribed for Michael, and it did work. But there's a huge danger in just taking something without discussing with the medical team.
Thank you very much, Jane.
Okay.
All right. We are at the top of the hour. At the moment, we do have a handful of comments that were still coming in. So as always, as we announced at the beginning of the call, if anyone on the panel does have to hop off, that is totally okay. We will keep it going until, we exhaust some of the questions. There's a couple more. If anyone wants to stick around, you are welcome to. If you have to hop off, totally understand as well. Cool, but we'll keep going. So someone said, my brother has brain cancer. What could he do? So as we said at the beginning of the call, this isn't a venue for us to give explicit advice on particular circumstances. Of course, that's a very sensitive matter. But of course, there are options and tools and resources that we can point you towards. For example, you are welcome to get in contact with our in-house counselor, Dr. Randy Shane, here at the center. And you could do so through the link that I will provide in a response to you on Facebook, or anyone that else can go to BeatCancer.org and click on the cancer counseling button. We also have a wonderful selection of holistic cancer coaches that are available to be worked with. Several of them are on this call tonight, and those can be found by going to BeatCancer.org and clicking on our Find a Cancer Coach. Click on the Find a Cancer Coach button at the top. And working with a coach is another wonderful way to get personal help, because the appropriate avenue when someone is facing a particular cancer concern is to do a thorough intake questionnaire before providing specific advice in that circumstance. So I hope that helps.
One little add to that, Zach. If you like any of the coaches that are on the call tonight, you can see their names right there. And when you go to Find a Coach tab on our website, you can just type in their name and it'll come right up.
Yep, absolutely. Or if you put in the comment section, we can help get you connected that way. So other than that, we have letrozole and ribocyclib good for my mom's breast cancer, or is that just prolonging her life? Again, like the previous question, we can't necessarily give explicit medical advice for a particular circumstance on this call. But does anyone have general information they'd like to share about those drugs there? Letrozole and ribocyclib?
We got a hand up. Go ahead, Becca.
Thanks, Carl. I'll take my hand down. I don't have any specifics other than the training that we received. The pharmaceuticals, or I don't know if it was from this training, but pharmaceuticals help 3%. 3%. It doesn't matter what pharmaceutical is. That includes chemotherapy and radiation. And it comes down to, yes, maybe that drug is prolonging the life or giving her length of life, but let's talk about quality of life. Quality. I walking through the cancer journey with my boyfriend, it was like walking into mad scientists. They take the blood, they mix up the medicine. It's a better way. There's a better way. And it's getting back to the mom. What does the mom want? The mom is the captain of the ship. How does she feel? And I think we're getting so scientific and we're getting so like caught up in all the, and just too much of it's this specific and this specific, when really the lifestyle has to change. This is participatory medicine, and the cancer is not going to go away. It's not like my boyfriend said, oh, I got to touch a cancer. No, it is not like you have a cold, a virus, and you do a couple treatments and you go back to your life. It doesn't work that way. And this is my coaching on it. So did I answer the question? That pharmaceuticals, 3%. 97 side effects, 97% side effects.
I think that's even a generous number at that. But over to you, Maya.
Like, and yeah, I don't think any of the medicines actually cure. Most of them just mask the symptoms. But they own the word cure, so they can keep it. We'll keep working with people on the cause.
I think the biggest missing puzzle in all this the drugs and cancer is not bringing a knowledge. Not the people don't understand that the cancer grows in the environment that depletes the body from certain nutrients and certain and body would create cancer. And those stages are definitely not depletion of letrozole and other drugs, to be prescribed like letrozole and per se say like, okay, cancer is going to go away or prevent the reoccurrence, because body wasn't depleted in letrozole before it created cancer. There are obviously some other stuff that was happening in the life that created cancer in the body. So by continue taking letrozole and not changing what created the cancer in the first place, so you got to ask yourself a question: is it good for your mom to take it or not? I would just go and do my research on letrozole and other drugs and see what kind of side effects down the road, because they do affect the bones and they make the bones fragile. They cause tons of other health conditions, and put it on the scale and see if it's worth to continue with it or do a life change and take it a different approach. So that would be something that your mom have to do her own research, or you can help your mom to do the research and come to that conclusion if she really wanted it or if it's really good for her or not.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, coaches, for the input on that one. The next comment, someone was talking about nicotine patches are supposed to be really good for brain cancer. It was a comment to, it was a reply comment. So someone saying about nicotine patches, which is a favorite topic of Carl and myself. So yeah, nicotine is a very fascinating and very propagandized substance and molecule, although it's present in eggplants and tomatoes and what are known as the nightshade vegetables, and also, of course, in the tobacco herb. It's been said to be addictive for much of our lives. Um, and that has a very fascinating history on why that came to be and how strongly it came to be after certain events happening. And yeah, now a lot of very prominent doctors are coming out in support of healthy consumption avenues of nicotine for protection against a variety of things, such as snake venom. I've seen it talked about in regards to cancer. Uh, and just overall as a health supplement, which is very fascinating. So I see a very proud hand up from Maya. So we'll go over to you.
Yeah, my favorite doctor, Dr. Ardis, actually speaks a lot about nicotine patches. He's going to be in Austin. I'm going to go on a convention and see him in person.
We're excited.
Yes, we're going to be there. So it's like it's a big talk. But again, we're missing out one point, that we're isolating an item. When it comes to our health, we're isolating an item, which is a nicotine right now, or a fenbendazole or mebendazole. We're not looking at the big picture right here to think about, like, okay, what are we missing beside those fenbendazole and ivermectin? There's a lot of things that needs to be done before we isolate or stop consuming that one item and hoping to get better, because it's not going to happen. We have to combine everything. And does it have a property? Yes, any plant you take, it has tons of properties, whether anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory. I mean, you cannot possibly go ahead and take 1,000 things at the same time just because someone talks about it. You have to eliminate the problem that, that causes that thing. But does it have a benefits? Yes, it does, of course, have a benefits. Nicotine has a lot of benefits in it. And so that my point is, like, just to bring this awareness, like, do not isolate only one item. That's not the solution to the problem. There's a big picture behind it always.
No
Yeah.
substitute for overall holistic lifestyle changes. There's no one pill or supplement or drug or injection or smokable or drinkable that's going to get you out of a deficit of health brought about by overall unsavory choices.
Well, I'd like
We,
to add to that a little bit. A lot of medicines are derived from natural plants. So they found the natural plant did XYZ, and they synthesize it so that they can isolate the one ingredient and then patent it. But what they're missing is all the other compounds that are part of that plant that holds that one specific ingredient, all the phytonutrients and everything that works together in that plant. And Becca was saying it in the chat. You need the whole food, and that's the missing thing. Is that you take these
yeah,
isolates, and it's like what Maya was saying. You're taking one little isolate, you're taking 1,000 different isolates, but in
right.
nature they didn't work that way. They worked in combination with
Yeah.
everything else that was in that plant.
Yeah, exactly. We are like, we gotta think logically. Okay, what cannot we survive without? We cannot survive without air. We cannot survive without water. We cannot survive without food. So nicotine is a part of certain plant, right? That doesn't mean like we can sit down and eat that plant all the time, right? It comes to the picture when we need it, but that doesn't mean the food and the air, the hydration, food that we put in our body matters a lot. Our environment matters a lot. But when we need it, we can come and bring those herbs and, needed supplies to our body.
Yep. Thank you very much. We got Catherine White on the topic.
I'm just going to take it in a different direction and talk about like the holistic, the whole person experience. My personal treatment plan was conventional medicine, and that was great at the time. And I am here because I've been diving into the holistic part of it. I think, if we take it back to what Jane was saying about Louise Hay, that there are so many other aspects to this healing process. And we're talking about water when we're talking about plants and we're talking about medicine, but we need to be also talking about what's happening inside of the person and in the introspection and that exceptional healing patient, right? Of like, what else are they doing? Are they asking questions? Are they going through and doing their spirit work? Are they seeking guidance and support from other people, like the coaches that are here, or from groups in their communities? Are they willing to do their shadow work to understand, how did I get to this place in the first place, and how am I going to love myself as I go through this process? How am I going to take care of myself as I go through this process? And how am I going to believe that this process is possible, whether it's conventional or whether it's holistic? How do I have to teach people, I have to support people in believing that drinking water is good for them. They don't want to drink water, but they have to believe that there are options and that those options are good for them. And I think, that in conjunction with all of the other pieces is a really important part, because if you don't believe that the broccoli is going to help you, then you're just eating food. But you have to, I believe, infuse that broccoli with this belief that everything that is inside of it is going to support you. That getting grounded, doing grounding practices, is part of believing that my body can heal and that these things are going to help me to be a healthier person. That trusting the doctors, sometimes that's what you have to do, right? Is trust the doctor, that that's part of my care plan. And I have to believe that I can make choices within that care plan that are going to help me to heal my body, because we are designed to heal. We just have to bring all the tools together. And part of it is that spirit and soul work that is going to carry us through it. I just thought I should add that part in there.
Awesome.
Excellent, thank you.
Very good.
So I got a question, that if we're going to have all these good fruits or these vegetables and meats and everything, can we microwave that?
We got
We're busy. We're
we got a
trying
collective
to.
thumbs down.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Strongest microwave you can use.
But we're in such a hurry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a book called The Slow Down Diet by Mark David, I believe is his author, and he specifically says that it's how we eat is more important than what we eat. If we believe that food we're eating is it's nourishing us and fueling us, then that's how our body's going to respond. And the other component is sitting down. You need to sit down to eat because it activates the vagus nerve. That you have to be in the parasympathetic in order for your food to be digested. Otherwise, it's not doing you anything. You could be eating and your body's not doing anything, not even absorbing it.
Yeah. Absolutely. I see a hand from Jane.
First of all, we talked about the microwave, and we know that it can be harmful, that it is harmful, but most people don't. And for the people that are calling in that aren't familiar with it, there is a great ebook on BeatCancer.org that shows the dangers of the microwave and how it changes the electromagnetic properties of the food. So that's a benefit to do on Beat Cancer, to find that information. But the other thing is, if you can help me with something, somebody asked me, who is Dr. Roy? And I have a long explanation of it, but I can't seem to be able to send it. What am I doing wrong?
I'm not exactly sure what might be going on with your individual chat.
I'm sorry?
I'm not sure. I can't
Okay.
see.
All right. It says something.
It's
The
not in
person
the general
is in
chat. It
my
must have
phone.
been a direct message to you, and that person may or may not be on the phone still.
Oh, maybe that is because it just wasn't going through.
God. So
All right.
while
All right. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to leave, but
Thank you, Jane.
okay. You're welcome.
I'm gonna speed run through a couple. Someone just said sour sop, very fascinating. Tropical fruit, as always. There's no one size thing that's gonna be a magical thing, but it is delicious and nutritious, evidently as well. Someone said castor oil packs. We've talked about that quite a bit. Maya infamously, or I guess not, yeah, infamously had a post go to like 2 million views talking about castor oil. So we're a fan. I like to put it in my eyes, make sure you're getting a nice hexane-free castor oil. Very powerful stuff. What is a good holistic shop that y'all can recommend that is organic online shop in case it is far to go to? There's a variety of good shops out there. I don't know if we're gonna promo at one particular one right now. What about RSO oil? CBD is, of course, a very powerful thing in different varieties. RSO is very popular. We get a lot of people talking about it. We don't particularly advocate for it alone, but a lot of our coaches do implement CBD. I know that. Let's see. I have no idea what that says. We're going to skip that. Uh, yep. Our person who was asking about letrozole and the other one said that their person's breast cancer has advanced to the lymph nodes and to the pelvis. Of course, we're very sorry to hear that. Again, if you are looking for particular coaching, you can take advantage of the avenues that we mentioned earlier. Someone said they had cancer and they're recovered since 2019. What are precautionary things that they could do to not get it to come back again? All right, that'll be the last one that we.
That's a topic for a whole call.
Yeah. There's a whole lot of things.
That's 90% of what we do is prevent recurrence.
Yeah. All right, so we'll leave that for the last one. Last interesting comment. Someone's talking about honeybee stings, saying that a sting from a honeybee will stop growth of breast cancer cells in less than an hour. A bold claim, of course. That's not me making that claim. That's me reading a comment. Um, Fascinating. I know bee stings and different insect venoms have been used in a variety of different ways, both in holistic healing and in pharmas as well, way more than people realize. But yeah, any thoughts on honeybee stings?
I actually looked into that, I think, for joint pain at one time. That was for my Lyme's. Before I knew what it was, before I knew I had Lyme's. But it was actually one of the things I looked into was bee stings.
I could see the picture in terms of like, the body's reaction, like fight and flight of the body, like increasing the immunity to, you know, to get rid of because something from, exogenously had been entered the body, which is a bee venom, and then the body would go into that stage of fight and flight and increase the immunity and certain like T cells, B cells, and to fight that. But once that process goes down, I don't think so. Just a singular bee bite would, cure entire cancer, but definitely would spike the immune system to a little higher level, to help. But you probably will have to have 100 bee stings to be able to, if not the thousands, probably to be able to, I don't know, kind of get, I wouldn't say get rid of the cancer, that would affect on the cancer somehow.
Yeah.
Cancer is very complicated, like, and it's very, I mean, like cancer is very complicated on its own. Like you cannot just get rid of it with plain bee stings. I doubt it. That's my personal though thought on it.
Yeah. Yeah, perhaps, of course, every individual circumstance is individual. So we will cap it at that. We've had a variety of questions. Thank you, everyone that participated on social media, on um, I'm not sure what that last comment is that came in from my friend David there. We are ending the call at this time, but you are welcome if you have more questions to get in touch with us at support@BeatCancer.org or get in touch with our counselor at the page that we mentioned before, which I'll link to you in the chat shortly, or take advantage of one of the cancer coaches that you heard from tonight in the Find a Cancer Coach directory. General reminders for all. We usually meet every single week, same time, same Zoom link, every Thursday. However, next week, our staff will be away. We are attending a conference, so we will not be meeting next week, and we will resume the week after that. So you can always join us on the social media platforms wherever you might be, or you can tune in and join us on the Zoom call itself by going to BeatCancer.org and clicking on the weekly call button, which I will quickly demonstrate to you. Again, that's BeatCancer.org and clicking on the weekly call button here at the top. Has a little bit of information. You can submit topics if you'd like. Please avoid submitting specific cancer circumstance questions, as again, that's not the intent of this call. But we welcome general educational topics to talk about. You can also catch the replays right on this call, right on this page here. They're published as soon as we get finished. So some of those other links that I was talking about, if you are interested in the counseling from our in-house counselor, here's your button. If you are interested in working with one of our coaches, here's the button. If you are interested in becoming a coach yourself, here's the button for that. And we're always welcoming new coaches joining the team, and there's a whole lot of perks that come with that. Always a lot more that we have going on. We have books, CDs, DVDs, ebooks available in our store right here, or again, right up here. And there are a whole bunch of other resources that you can poke around and find. Connect with us on different social medias right there. We have podcasts, we have blogs, we have all sorts of stuff going on at BeatCancer.org. Again, you're tuned into the Ask a Holistic Cancer Coach weekly call from BeatCancer.org. Thank you to all of our friends who I see thanking us on Facebook. These calls are made great by your participation and giving us really cool things to talk about. Thank you to all the coaches who joined us this week. Any final thoughts, Carl?
Yeah. There's one thing that I'm super excited about. For years, I've been wanting to get this done, and finally, it's getting done. We had um, photo albums, a bunch of them that were just that had thank you letters and testimonials dating all the way back into the mid 70s or the late 70s. And what we've done is we scanned them all and then blacked out any identifying information like addresses or whatever, and left the first name but not the last name. And then we had them typed up. So we've been getting these testimonials on. So we have testimonials on our website going all the way back into the 70s. Just hundreds of them going up online right now. So it's just a great thing to see. Yeah, I mean, what is there, like 5 or 6 or 7 a page or 10? And we got 46 pages of those now. And it's still an ongoing project. It's a big, long project.
Yeah. So it's all just letters from people sharing love after receiving support from Dr. Randy or from Susan or just from working with any of our other team members and coaches.
And it's decades of love right there.
Yep. For anyone who isn't familiar, we've been around since 1977 as a nonprofit organization, just assisting people as our mission in easing the suffering of the all too preventable cancer in this world. That is why we're here.
That's all I got. So thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed who participated. I hope everyone who catches the replay enjoys. Reminder again, next week we will not be meeting. We will be resuming the week after that. There is no call. What is the date? There's no call on the 27th of February. We will be resuming on the 6th of March. That's it.
Perfect.
Hope everyone enjoyed. Have a wonderful night.